Hello, everybody. Oh, hi. No. Bring the cat back. Fuck my intro. The cat is so much cuter than anything I was about to say. What's his name? Lou?
Leela. She's named after a Futurama character.
Oh, I love it. Is that the one with the purple hair?
It's the woman, the female character on Futurama.
There's only
the one eye.
Yes.
Yeah. Katie Seagal.
Yes, Katie Seagal. She is like, honestly, like I put her up there with what's your fucking name? Angelica Houston. Like they have that sort of, like gravitas. They like when they enter, they just like own it, and they have this like dark energy that is also still somehow so friendly and accessible. They're enigmas. I love them. Anyways, that was the intro. Hi, welcome to the podcast, everybody. We have a cat. V.A has a cat too. Is the cat next to you, V.A?
Yeah, she's looking out the window now. I guess that's more important than this. She might wander in at some point, though.
Excellent. And I have a black lab right here next to me. I can't pick him up because he's 100 pounds, but he's here, I promise. Welcome to the podcast, everybody. I'm so glad you're here. We have two funny comedians. And just if you are new, this is called Dissgruntled. My name is Joplin Jayne. It is a competition of grievances. And please give a warm welcome to our two comedians that we have. We have Kristin Carnes from Indiana.
I'm not from Indiana. I live in Indiana.
Don't anyone dare that she is from that horrid state called Indiana. I'm just kidding. I like Indiana. And then V.A. Bennett from Chicago.
I'm not from Chicago, but I live in Chicago. No,
there you go.
The difference is I actually do love Chicago a lot, but that's not important.
That's good. But Kristin, you're from Illinois, though, right?
I'm from Waukegan.
Okay, so you're kind of like from where VA is from. We got the whole area represented today. You guys better be funny because you're gonna let that whole area down. I'm just saying, you're representing the population.
I didn't even say my hometown, so and that was done on purpose, so I can't let them down.
There's a street named after you, VA. I know there's a hospital named after you, and everyone hates it.
Yeah. Oh, there's the cat.
There she is. She or he.
Say hi, Sophie. Sorry.
Sophie.
Her name's Sophie. It's very human-like.
I have two human names for my dogs too. I have Charlie and Molly. And we have, yes, that is a white cat.
Yeah, we have a stark contrast.
Your furniture?
On me and her.
Oh. Oh, yeah, that.
Yeah.
For the podcast listeners, he's a black man.
Yeah. That's going to be important later.
Spoil alert. Sorry if I ruined your surprise later.
A big reveal in shambles.
Unmasking. Oh, all right. So these comedians are going to be competing in a competition of 2 rounds. I'm going to be awarding points after each round. And by the end, whoever has the most points is valid in their grievances. And everybody else, the other comic, is sadly just disgruntled. Round 1 is called Petty Rapid Fire. We're going to start things off with Kristin, and then it's going to be V.A. In this round, comedians are going to have 3 minutes to rant about as many petty personal grievances as possible. The person to list the most gets 1 point, and the person with the funniest grievance gets 2 points. Kristin, I have my little timer here. Whenever you're ready, you can take it away.
Okay, I hate when people give you the wimpy handshake. Women get this all the time, especially from men, where they barely grab onto your hand. They just barely shake it like it's a doll hand. I hate left lane drivers. If you're not passing, get the fuck out of the lane. I don't like when people are slow walkers. Don't walk in front of me if you're slow. Don't stop in the doorway. I'm going to go around you. I might even hit you. People who have to one-up you, especially when it's on miserable things. Like a friend of mine who you say you went to the hospital and you got sick from the anesthesia. She has to say that she died on the table and came back to life, which is talking to you, Laura, out in Colorado. People who don't write anything personal on holiday cards. If you're going to send me a card of your family that you send to everybody, you better at least sign your name or say something personal. Don't just be sending that crap out. It's generic as hell. What else? Group messages looking for getting booked on shows. I got one of those recently, and it was from somebody who defriended me. So why you defriended me and then asked to get booked along with 20 other people, I don't like it. Another thing, I hate vague posts on Facebook. Don't be putting, I had a terrible day. It's just awful because we know, everybody wants attention, but you're begging for it in a very passive-aggressive way. A friend of mine did that, and it turns out her husband left her for a 35-year-old woman with 2 kids. Just fucking say that. You came out and said it eventually. Just say it. Oh, God, what else? What else? Whenever you're talking about going overseas or something, somebody's got to say that they wish they had that kind of money, or something to be make you feel bad about something you got to enjoy. Let's see, what else? The left lane drivers is my biggest pet peeve. I just absolutely hate people sitting in the left lane and not passing. I will flash my lights at you. And if you don't get over, I will go around you and I will give you the stink eye. It sounds like a very Karen thing, I know. But I don't like it. I don't like it. People who don't make eye contact with you when you're talking to them, they're staring at your nose or your chest, and it's there's something there, or you want to say something about whatever you're staring at, please say it.
Yes, time. That's it.
Okay.
Damn, girl. That was very good. You got 10.
I would have written down more because I am a very peevish person. So
this podcast is perfect.
And petty.
You know what I love? I love how self-aware you are. You're like, I'm peevish, I'm petty. Yeah, I Karen sometimes. What of it?
I'm not going to Karen a fast food worker, but I'm going to Karen someone who slows down at the doorway of a grocery store and they're blocking everybody. I'm going to Karen that person. Yeah.
I am very pro. Yeah, I agree with you on that. I'm very pro, just in general, bullying the bully. You know what I mean? I'm not going to take advantage or be mean to somebody clearly having a hard time. You don't want to be there for $12 an hour. I'm sorry, you got to deal with that. But I'll be mean to a rich guy who's cutting the line in front of everybody else. I will be like, hello. Look at that fucking person. Did you guys watch 30 Rock, by the way? Did you ever watch that show?
Yeah.
No.
Okay. V.A., do you remember... Kristin, you need to watch 30 Rock.
I know.
Yeah, what are you doing here now? Get out of here. Go watch 30 Rock.
You are Liz Lemon. I'm just the vibe I'm getting from you. You are the Tina Fey. You need to fucking watch that show immediately. It's autobiographical for you. And I mean that as a compliment.
That is a compliment.
Liz Lemon.
Don't you see it though, V.A.?
I can see it. And Kristin, I think that most of your peeves were valid.
Very valid.
Thank you.
I'm rooting for you out here.
Thank you.
I agree with you on the vague posting.
Same.
So
100% agree.
Yes. Or the vague posting that I see a lot is, I've had the worst day.
Yes.
Don't ask me, but it's the worst day. And then it's just it. And then it's just comments and comments of oh my God, are you okay? And then no details at all whatsoever. So it's just you don't actually want help. You just want attention. And just in general, that peeves me.
You're in my thoughts, but I don't know what the fuck I'm thinking about for you. So you should. Yeah, I think it should be illegal to fucking post and not say what you mean.
Yeah, yeah, instead of thoughts and prayers, it's thoughts and questions. But
right, yeah. What if what they're sad about is something that you don't agree with?
Oh, that's so true.
Yeah. I'll be praying for you.
I'm sad that women still have rights to their bodily autonomy. Oh.
Yeah. Oh. I wish abortion was more illegal.
Oh, you guys. You're a good pair. I like you very much. Kristin, you killed it. That was 10. That was like top upper percentile you came to play, even though you said you didn't write a lot. You said a lot. Way to go. Well done. And I like every single one. Excellently done. VA, you're next. Whenever you're ready.
It's just a formality at this point, but I hate when people think that I look like Darius Rucker, white people specifically. Like, do I really look like Darius Rucker, or is that the only black person you've ever heard of? You know? I don't like when I'm at a bar and people ask me to get them a drink and it's February, and, you know, like that's my goddamn history month, for goodness sake. I do work at the bar, so that's maybe my fault. But, you know, like, give me a fucking break. You know what I'm saying? I don't like when people look like Macklemore, but they get mad when you tell them that they look like Macklemore. You know, like, for one, your haircut sucks shit. And also, I met you at a thrift shop, and we're downtown, so you're 100% Macklemore. I recently got married, and I hate when people want to tell you about, like, the hardships of marriage. You know, you can't just, like, you can't say something like, oh, congratulations, you found the love of your life, and I wish you a lifetime of marital bliss. Like, that never happens. Like, people say things like, oh, don't get married, you're never gonna fucking have sex again in your life, you know? And I'm like, it's bullshit. My wife and I, we definitely have sex. We just don't tell each other about it. It's called respect. I hate when musicians use fake voices in their songs when they sing. Like, you know, fucking, you know, Shaggy.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Like, it wasn't me. He's like, the song's like, oh, I'm Mr. Bombastic, you know, like,
yeah.
The basketball player got to know how, you know, that motherfucker, right? But if you hear him in an interview when he talks, he's like, hello, my name is Shaggy Smith. Like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, you're lying to the universe and to yourself, it feels like, too. I hate when you present somebody with, like, very clear-cut options, but they pick, like, another option that you never presented. You know, like, for, like, if you're like, hey, do you like apples or oranges? And they're like, well, I like pears. You know, like, fuck you. Like, you're the worst type of person. Like, I fucking hate, why can't people just exist inside of the realm of what's actually happening in front of them? I guess.
You got a minute.
I'm done.
You're done?
Yeah, I think so.
That was
I'm
great.
not.
Yo, bro, I agree with every single one of those.
People tell you look like Darius Rucker. I feel that.
So you don't think you look like him at all? Not a bit.
Well, the problem is they're right. I think that's.
I mean,
probably why, like, I'm so, like, mad about it.
You're pulling a Macklemore on yourself.
I know, that's what I thought too.
Oh my god, my universe is just crumbling around me right now. And we're recording this on 420, by the way, for people who don't know that. So I'm a little high.
Oh, nice.
But
Way to go. Yo, I think we have a common thing between you two, where people like to one up problems. You know, like that seems to be a big thing for both of you. Like, is it like people that you? My question is it people who are, like, in your life actively, or is it like people who are, like, tertiary characters in your lives?
I mean, I'm not sure who's actually important to me at all.
Other than your wife.
Yeah. If she listens to this, she's important. If we're divorced by the time this comes out, we'll cut this out later. But it's you know, it's funny to me, like, when you're doing well and you tell somebody about it, they're gonna be like, oh well, you know, like, they try to drag you down. But when you're feeling down, they try to bring you up.
Yeah.
Like, where's this fucking, like, happy middle place supposed to be? I can't, like, you know, I can't celebrate anything and I can't mourn anything without somebody being like, well, it could be better, it could be worse.
Yeah. You know what I've noticed? Go ahead.
That's what that person did to me, the one who always won up. This was a person I worked with when I lived in Colorado, and she did say she died on the table and came back. And when my mom died, and she knew my mom was sick, and I came back to work and I'm crying, she said, well, it could be worse, like what's going on with my mom, where she's just going downhill and suffering. And I'm like, you have got to be fucking kidding me. And that's when she was dead to me. I still worked with her, I still talked to her, but once we moved out of Colorado, I never talked to her since then, and she has no idea why. And I don't care.
I feel that. My wife told me a story when her mom unfortunately passed away a few years ago, and she was talking to a girl that she worked with about it, and the girl goes, "Oh, I know what you're going through because I recently just lost my cat."
No, no,
That's not the same fucking thing, I promise.
no.
No.
Yeah.
Can I say this about you? And I love this about you. Like, I think you are very passing. You know what I mean? Like, you can go with a bunch of suburban moms and they wouldn't know how mean your thoughts are. Do you know what I mean? Like,
I'm not sure which one you're talking to.
I think that's you.
You said you were passing, and I'm like, uh-oh, are we getting into the race thing here? What's going on?
No, Kristin.
I make passes at suburban moms all the time.
No. Like you could hang out with a bunch of Karens, and they would have no idea how much you hate them, and like the mean thoughts you are thinking. Am I right? That's the vibe I get from you.
Me?
Yeah.
Oh, no.
I told you.
They, I thought she was talking to you. No, they know. My husband has told me, he's like, if you don't like someone, they know it. It's all over my face. I cannot hide that shit.
That's refreshing.
It really is. I'd rather know what somebody's thinking, you know?
Oh, yeah. I'll ignore people. I won't engage with them. I won't laugh with them. I just won't bother with them if I don't like them, and they know it.
Can I say this? And I don't know if I'll get canceled, but like, this is why I think we should stop saying that like autism and Asperger's is like a handicap, because they are the realest motherfuckers. I'm serious. I am fucking serious. Like, I'm sick of being around people who are like, and you know, they're like snakes. They're fucking snakes, and they don't give a shit about you. Like, all of my autistic friends, like, they're so real. Like, you know what they think, you know how they feel, you know, they say exactly what they're thinking, and it's just refreshing to be around. And I'm just like, we're calling this a handicap? What the fuck?
I mean, I agree with that. I just don't like when, now you're going to really get canceled. I don't like when people try to use it as like a handicap. You know what I'm saying? Have you ever been a victim of that? Where like somebody like they'll say something like really like off the rip, and you call them out on it, like, yo, what the fuck was that? And like, oh, I'm sorry, I'm autistic. I'm like, okay, I don't give a fuck. Like, I'm sorry if I'm the first person to tell you that's a fucked up thing to say. You know,
Oh my God.
I'll happily be that person. But you know, let's say like own it. I agree with you, but just
wow. Can we talk about that for a second? Because
sure. I got all the time in the world.
All of the autistic people I know, that when they say something that, you know, actually is offensive, or like, you know, isn't like, they're just not aware of a cultural norm.
Yeah.
They're very apologetic. They actually are like, thank you for teaching me that. Or like, you know, they feel bad. It's not just like, let me weaponize my autism. You know,
and that's how you know who's lying, right? But it's an easy enough thing to throw around, where people are like, oh, I'm not a dickhead, I'm just autistic. I know you. Some people are actually just dickheads, right?
I know, exactly. Kristin, you can stay out of this. V.A. and I are going to get kicked together. Enjoy your life on your couch. Enjoy your career.
The views expressed by everyone except for Kristin do not necessarily reflect the
Thank
views
you.
of
You can
Kristin.
put those subtitles in later.
Got you, girl.
So how about this weather we're having?
I can't talk about that. I just can't. Also, on the accent thing, singing in fake accents, you know what fucks me up when I'm enjoying like a singer or whatever? I don't like when British people sing in American accents.
Yeah.
I don't like it. It feels
that's hilarious. That's the inverse of what I was talking about. Like, you know, like Green Day, like Billy Joel, like I walk a lane. That sounds British to me, right? But I don't think he is.
Yeah,
no, he's not.
No.
Oh, yeah. So what the fuck is he doing?
But I've noticed that like vocal affectations go in and out. Like there was like the punk era, like in the 2000s, or like na la 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 la. Like that was very popular. Total affectation, not real. Have you guys noticed that like there's just like trends that like people kind of like do the same thing and like vocally? Like, am I the only person that's noticed that?
Well, I hear it not just vocally, but speech patterns. That whole, what are they called? Like the Kardashian, the
Vocal fry?
easily
Yes. Yes.
talking, drawing it out. It's some of these people on these reality shows. I just can't listen. I can't watch an episode of Vanderpump Rules.
I'm with you on that. You guys are white, right? Can I ask you a question? Do you ever notice how sometimes people are talking and they end on it sounds like they're asking a question, but they're not asking a question?
It's a Midwestern thing though too. I have a friend from Green Bay and his name is Mark and his in-laws call him question mark. Everything goes up at the end.
Hilarious.
That's very funny.
That's one of the first things I noticed about white people when I first was unleashed upon them. So I didn't know if there was a science.
Where are you from?
Nobody. The outer reaches of your mind, man. No, Cincinnati, it's really shitty.
I agree with you. And I agree with both of you. White people totally do that. And it is a Midwestern thing. I live in the Midwest. I live in Kansas City, Missouri. And that's definitely something they do. And it's kind of like a polite thing. And, because we're
like, is that okay with you that I said that?
Kind of. But also, I have noticed that Australians do that as well. Australians do it. And so do New Zealanders.
Oh.
And I don't know why. But
I've only ever seen them on like Love Island, so maybe I'll pay more attention to that. When they're horny, they don't do it. It turns out.
Right. And then one more that you did was the marriage thing. Oh my God! Yes, people
That's
love
real.
to do that. And the thing is, like, they're telling on themselves. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm fucking miserable. I can't wait for you to be that way.
Yeah, like you're never gonna have sex. It's like, well, you're clearly not having sex. Why did you tell me about your fucking sex life?
Yeah.
I need to know that.
You're never gonna get that freckle removed 3 inches from your left testicle. Like, yeah, telling on yourself. You know what? It's time for that.
Yeah. And then lastly, you know what I've noticed? And this goes back to the point of people loving to one-up suffering. And, people, I think a lot of people, they are able to be happy for others if things are going well for themselves as well.
Sure.
I've noticed that, if things are going shitty for you and you see someone doing something well, it's like, well, fuck them, blah, 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 blah. But then that same person, if something happens in their life, suddenly they are like more welcoming and happy for other people's success, or they're even more understanding for failures. Have you guys noticed that?
Yeah, in comedy every single day.
Oh, good call.
Yeah.
Good
I mean, that's
call.
like one of the hardest things for me at least about comedy is just the jealousy that you sometimes feel when you see other people getting something that you wanted and you didn't get it, or doing something and you're like, how are they being successful at this and I wasn't? But then when you get successful at something, you want to share it with the world. So right.
And then, like, you walk a line, it's like when you share it, you're not trying to be like braggadocious. You're like, oh, this is fucking cool, and I'm happy to have done it. And I love to see my homie succeed. I love to see anybody succeed who isn't a piece of shit,
Yeah.
And I honestly, the other side of it is like people who aren't getting these opportunities that they're upset that they didn't get is basically it starts within. It's like you could have taken the same steps. You could have done the same work. You could have gotten there if you were actually doing something about it besides sitting there and being a bitch. But,
Yeah, I mean, it's a gut reaction. I think social media enhances that too. Just, I didn't have to hear about everybody doing so well back in high school unless somebody called me on the phone. I mean, that's how you heard about it, or in school. Like, you didn't have to see it 24/7.
And if they called you had to actually be home too. It was a crazy gambit to run.
Yeah. Yo, that was funny. Okay, so Kristin, you had the most. You had 10. So that is 1 point for Kristin. Funniest. I'm gonna give it to both of y'all because I make the rules. It's my fucking podcast. You guys both 2 points.
Kristin can have my points if she wants them.
I I'm just here for the experience. I'm just here for the journey.
Yeah.
Nice.
Just for the experience.
Yeah. I feel like I'm turning into a beautiful swan right in front of your eyes right now.
Damn, I should have gotten high before this too. Darn.
Just, I want to get high with you, man. I want to get high with you, and then I want to hang out with a bunch of like girls that act like princesses and just watch you go crazy.
Yeah, go to a baby shower or a bridal shower, then it's just, oh my God.
Just the way you say baby shower, it's so delightful.
Dripping venom from each letter.
I remember going to a bridal shower for my friend, or a baby shower for my friend, and then I was getting married, and she's like, my friend in front of all the people were like, oh, what's your new name going to be? And I'm like, changing my name? And I got really like agitated about that, and the entire baby shower just kind of turned against me at that point. So.
You don't want to be an enemy of the baby shower.
Yeah. The suburban bitches. Yeah. Not like that.
I've hated that baby its whole life.
How did they turn against you at your own baby shower? What happened?
No, not my baby shower. It was no, I don't have a baby. I have cats. Those are my babies.
Kristin goes to a gender reveal and she's like, tuck it back in. How fun.
Kristin, you have such a clearly defined lane in comedy. You know what I mean? Like, you have a very clearly defined comedic voice. And I love that. I love it very much. Compliments all the way. All right, round 2. V.A, you're also very funny.
Oh, who said that? I'm so high.
Yeah, I know. I was just kidding, but you are very funny. I'm enjoying both of you. Okay, round 2. Let's keep this podcast rolling, shall we? Round 2. It's our final round. The score is 3 points for Kristin, 2 points for V.A. This round is called WTF Story Time. We're going to start things off with V.A. this time. And then it's going to be Kristin. In this round, comedians are going to tell a story about the funniest, worst grievance that has ever happened to them. Whoever has the best grievance gets 1 point. And whoever tells the funniest grievance gets 2 points. Comedians have 5 minutes or less to tell their story. V.A, whenever you're ready.
Okay. This may actually be like the first injustice that I actually remember feeling in my entire life. And I hate to keep bringing it back to race because people hate when you do that as a Black person. Oh, it's not that, but I mean, it's a real fucking thing. So I'll just hear my side of it for a second. When I was growing up, I went to like a predominantly Black like elementary school, and that was fine. I think there were maybe like 3 white kids in the entire school, and like they were cool. We were fine. We were all friends and all that shit. It's not like an issue at all. But then like in the 4th grade or so, I transferred to a different school, and you know, because I guess my mom thought that 3 wasn't enough white people to be around. So she transferred me to a different school, like in a different area. And I got culture shocked into basically being like the only Black kid in a class full of white kids. Right. So, I mean, at that point, I'm like, cool, I get to show these people what Black excellence looks like. No, but I guess nobody at the school was like quite ready for Blacks to be excellent yet. They had this program called like teen counselors. And these were like kids that were like in high school. Like I'm like in 4th grade this time. Like they were in high school and like they would come in and like they would do like fun presentations and like I really don't know what the fuck their purpose was, but like they're just like these cool high school kids, and I guess they're just kind of was plus like meant to give you like a positive outlook on things to come, I guess. At least like from the educational world. So one day they have this project where everybody had these paper plates, and you would tape the paper plate to your back. Everybody had a paper plate taped to their back, and you're supposed to go around like with a marker and write on everybody's plate something positive about them, which, you know, on paper, it sounds fun, right? So we're going around writing stuff like, oh, I think you're cool. Like, oh, you're good at soccer, or oh, you're pretty, or whatever, right? And at the end of it, you're supposed to take them off and like look at it and like revel in, you know, how wonderful you are or whatever. Wow. There was one comment that stuck out to me from this girl. Her name's Sarah Blackwater. If you're listening, fuck you for this still. But it said, your hair looks like a carpet. And in her fourth grade mind, that was like a compliment, I guess. But that was the first time I ever felt like, oh, fuck, these people don't fucking understand me at all.
Wow.
And like, if you're going to marginalize me, at least write something cool like, oh, you're good at basketball. You got a big old dick. Something like that, you know? But no, she went with the hair thing. And like, it hits double now since I don't even have hair. But when I did, that really like fucking stuck with me. And like, that sucked. And that's when I first realized like I wasn't like a human to some people. I was just like a fucking, you know, a thing that was over there that was a little different. Because like later in that same day, I shit you not, this is in a social studies class, or I don't know what the fuck we're doing. It was fourth grade. You could have been doing anything, like in between eating paint or whatever. And we're looking at this world map, and I'm sitting next to my friend Derek. Derek, for listening, fuck you. No, I'm just kidding. Derek's cool now. But at the time, we're looking at the world map, and we're looking at Africa, and he sees the country Niger.
Oh no! I know what's going to happen here.
No.
And he like nudges our other friend like in the ribs with his elbow, and he's trying to be nice, and he points at it and he goes, "Don't tell Antoine." I'm the Antoine. That's what the A and V.A stands for. But I heard him say the whole fucking thing, and that's when I was like, "Whoa, life is about to get really fucking weird from here on out." And yeah, there's not like a punchline. That's what happened. That was it stuck with me to this day.
Have you ever said anything to that girl? Does she know how you feel about what she said?
No, because like at the time I didn't really have the voice or even like the want. Like I didn't even know who I was yet. Like I can say it now very clearly, you know. And I'm sure like she's probably not even like we're Facebook friends now to this day. I think I'll send her a link to this. I'm like, oh, by the way, you're mentioning this. Here's a nice little reconnect, right?
Wow.
Yeah.
Damn.
I think that's what I have for that.
Well, you know what's wild to think about is in my lifetime, I remember integration happening in my town.
Wow.
It was fourth grade.
For you too?
Yeah, kids got because geographically we're very racially divided in Waukegan's very racially mixed, but it was, you know, geographically still within the town. It was very segregated. And they brought kids from the south side to my school in grade school in fourth grade. And then I got bused to a different junior high.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, it's not that long ago. Well, I am old, but I'm not that old.
That was not that long ago at all.
70s.
Yeah. Wow. What was
Oh,
that?
man.
I love it. Like, I just wish we would, like, just in general, society would respect the people that came before us, because literally we wouldn't exist without any of that. So I just think it's stupid how we have the memory of goldfish in society where it's like, what's happening right now? That's the only thing that matters. It's like literally what's happening right now wouldn't fucking exist without the minute before that and the minute before that. So it's just, I reject that aspect of society. So just side note there. But no, Kristin, what was that like? I mean, you were in a high school how did you think about the whole situation? What were your
all I remember is going into fourth grade, brother was going into junior high, and my parents just said, oh, you're going to be going to a different junior high. And then the kids came into fourth grade to integrate our school. And I don't remember we never talked about race back in the 70s in my schools. We didn't, and we should have. And it just happened. It just happened, and nobody said anything, but it would have probably been a good idea to talk about, I think.
Probably. Wow.
I think so. I mean, and I'm sure there were other kids that felt like me, like at some point, like during time, like, you know, I felt that I was different. I didn't really understand why. And like, and there was even a point where like my biggest wish in the world was like, I wish I were white. Not anymore. You guys really fucked up. But at the time, it felt like the route, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I'm not trying to get like serious with it, but yeah, that's.
Oh, I love that you shared that. Thank you for sharing such a personal story. And I just feel like more people should hear stuff like that, because I don't know. I mean, we do hear, I feel like that what we hear in society is like, do this, do that, when it comes to like the rules of like what you can say and what you can't say. And the people who get upset about these, new rules that come into society, they don't understand the reason why that stuff matters. And stories like that really personalize it. So I think they're important. And I'm glad that you shared it. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. Yeah, like that's the type of shit that like helped mold me as a human.
Yeah.
Like the form of me you see before you, like I guess like started there, when I was starting to like have my own feelings for the first time and not just, this is the color green, this is the number 3, stuff like that. Like, I was like, wait, you're actually a person. And
So,
other people looking at you too.
Question. When did you start using humor as a way to deal with that? Is my question.
Say humor?
Yeah, like obviously you were around that situation where you felt like, kind of like an alien and it was just hard to be so different, but like
I can pinpoint the exact moment. This was probably 8th grade, and like the high school kids like came, like the theater group from high school came down and they were like doing some improv for us, and it was like a lot of fun. And like I was like super shy up to the point for reasons like you probably understand now, right? And as like they were really funny and I thought they were cool. And at some point they asked like, for this next sketch, we're going to need a volunteer. And I don't know why, but my hand just shot up. Right. And so I got up there and like we were doing like some sketch, and like one of the high school dudes was supposed to be like our teacher. And like I guess I said some like really funny things in the sketch, and like people just started laughing like a lot. And then like afterwards, everyone's kind of like, "Oh man, that was super funny! Like that was awesome! Like you blah blah." I was like, "Oh shit!" Like even like the people, like the high schoolers were saying that to me too. And then something just switched in my head. It's like, "Oh wait a minute! Like it's okay to be different. You can just be really fucking good at it." And that shifted my whole personality, honestly.
I love it. Kristin, did you have something like that we started using humor to like, because obviously, we're all comedians, so we are all inclined towards comedy, but did you have a moment where you're just like, yep, this is how I'm gonna kind of get through life?
Well, no, I don't remember using it like that. I do remember the first time somebody laughed at me was in high school. It was my friend Zari Paparigan, and I was doing an imitation of this band called Manhattan Transfer. They had this really cheesy song out in the 80s, and I remember dancing to it and doing something, and she laughed at me, and I thought, oh, this is the greatest thing. But I don't remember thinking I'm going to use this to deal with stuff. It wasn't until my 20s that I wanted to do comedy, but I don't even know why, which is weird.
Wow. So how did you get into it then?
I in my 20s I wanted to. I told a guy I wanted to, and he said, "Ooh, I've heard funnier." And I was like, "Oh, okay. Shut that down." Life got in the way, and then when we moved to Boston, there was so much comedy in Boston, so I took improv actually first and started out with a few classes of that, and then switched to stand up.
I feel like improv is a good entryway because you're with a team, you're with a group.
Yeah.
There's less pressure because it's not prepared. When you have prepared material, there's a higher like expectation. Oh, like, oh, you had time to work on this. It better be fucking good.
Yeah.
What I mean?
Yeah, and you're on stage with a bunch of people, so it's easier. You're right.
Yeah, and the expectations are lower. I mean, because improv is rarely funny outside that moment. You know what I mean?
There's a lot of improv.
Rarely funny inside that moment too. But that's another story.
You're in Chicago, man. They're gonna hang you. They're gonna like shoot you.
I'll be in Chicago. I'll be shot regardless. It just happens here.
Oh.
All right, Kristin, you're up
next. Okay, when I saw this on the when you listed it and you said the biggest injustice, and then VA shows up on the screen, I'm like, oh fuck, I've lost this one. I've never been really, there's never been an injustice done to me. So I thought of trying to just do the funniest grievance I had.
Perfect.
I have a few of them, but the one I do on stage quite a bit is when I was in the 80s, perms were a big thing for white women, perms to make your hair curly and wavy or whatever. And I was all on board with that. I wanted a perm, and I wanted a very specific perm. I wanted a perm so that I could feather my hair and look like Farrah Fawcett from Charlie's Angels. Now, and I told my hairdresser this. Now, why I thought just getting my hair done was going to make a difference and make me look like one of the hottest women on the planet was so stupid. I was like 40 pounds lighter, which made the nose much more prominent and the lack of boobs very noticeable. I mean, there was no way the hair was going to do it. But I got the perm and I'm like, that's who I want to look like, Farrah Fawcett. But what I ended up looking like was Chicago Bears coach Mike Ditka.
No. Oh my God.
I whip these out on stage all the time. And you know how I found out I looked like Mike Ditka? My husband. No one told me this back when I had the perm, but when my husband saw my senior year photo in my high school yearbook, he says, "Oh my God, you look like Mike Ditka from the 80s. Wow. He's like, "I don't think I would have dated you then." I'm like, "Oh, thanks."
He's kind of a local hero there, so that's good.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's great. That's what you want the person. Yeah, that's who you want to spend the rest of your life with, is a guy who tells you look like Mike Ditka.
Yeah, I mean he's kind of beloved in that area, so that's nice.
No, I do want to say one other grievance though I have, and I'll make it quick because I think as comedians we'll get this. Back in the early 2000s, Chelsea Handler had that show Girls Behaving Badly, and they did a tour around the U.S. trying to find somebody in each city to be on their show. So you had to try out. So you had to do a 2-minute monologue. And I went to Comedy Works in Denver when I was living in Colorado. I did my 2 minutes of original material. A bunch of people were there. I didn't make it, of course. The woman who won got up on stage with an accordion and sang the Almond Joy Mounds theme song. And she got it. Yes. All she did was, sometimes you feel like a nut, sometimes you don't. That was, and she got it. And I just felt like that was just, that was an injustice to everybody who spent time going there.
Oh no. Was she hot?
No, not at all. But turns out she worked at Comedy Works.
Oh.
So I think they basically did it where they were going to pick her regardless. Mm-hmm. And we were just all there for the show. They taped some of us and stuff, and that was it. So,
well, did you know that's how America's Got Talent is? So I know a lot of people who are like comedians who've been on there. Uh-huh. Like they're not real auditions. Like they work with the agents. Like the show works with the agents of the comics, and because they just want funny people. Because I worked in production for the X Factor, like because it's a lot of work to, very briefly, but like it's a lot of work to find talent. It really is. You have to sit through a lot of bums. Like you got to sit through a lot of bombs, a lot of awful shit. And that's time, and time is money, and they don't want to do that. So they'll work with agents for ADP, and they already know they're funny, and they just come in and they do their stuff. So when you watch that show, don't think that they're just like randomly selected. Like it's very purposeful.
They're just lining people up like down the block, just like for the first shots, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So adjudication time. Funniest. I'll give it to Kristin. Way to go. And the worst grievance I will definitely give to V.A.
Sure. Yeah. Thanks. It's my entire life. I'm glad I got a point for it. Finally.
V.A.
Besides on my driver's license.
V.A. I'm doing the best that I can. This is all I can give you. I wish I had a time machine.
Somehow you're not the problem, but you kind of are.
I carry the guilt for all the whiteys. Yeah. All right. So that means, Kristin, you win. Way to go, Kristin. Yay, Kristin.
Thank you. I'm good at bitching a lot.
Check the replay.
Oh my gosh. Well, that is the podcast. Way to go. I'm glad that we could turn your grievances into something good. VA, try not to make this another grievance that you have with me. I'm sorry that happened that way.
Oh no, this is going in the journal. 100%.
Oh no!
Oh, this is going on stage. You got to take it to the stage.
Guys, I was on this fucking podcast, right? Huh? You heard up at Dissgruntled? Huh?
This white devil bitch. Oh gosh, you guys were very, very funny. And it's that you guys are like professional. Like, I love it. This was just a very, very well done podcast because it was very good guests. Thank you so much for being here. Everybody listening, I want you to follow them, check them out. They are V.A. Bennett from Chicago and Kristin Carnes, who lives in Indiana but isn't from there. Thank you to our audience for tuning in. We have new episodes every Wednesday night. You can find them on YouTube, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts. And that's it. Until next week, have a great in-between. Bye.
Sayonara, suckers.